Oh, what is going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode of Caught Stealing, episode 37 of the 2026 MLB season, episode 37 of the Caught Stealing podcast. I'm Howard Bender. With me, of course, James Grande. We thank you guys for tuning in. If you're listening on the podcast side, well, we appreciate that. If you want to see just how handsome James looks when he's fiddling with his glasses and he's giving you that quizzical look, like maybe I'm just such a smart guy, right? Then you can tune in on the YouTube page. And when you come over there, hit that like button because I'm telling you, this dude, handsome AF, right? I don't want to get, called out here by the YouTube bots. Oh, he's blushing. And he's blushing behind what makes him even sexier is that he's blushing behind his Pokemon card.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. See that? The recent pickups, Howard. We got a Blastoise in there.
Ooh.
Got a nice Charizard. Got to have the Pikachu because face of the franchise and all that stuff.
Listen, if I don't get FaceTimed while you and Orion are at a card show with Beard Dad cards, and I don't get like little placement in the group photo, I'm gonna be incredibly
Just
upset.
holding up the phone. Just holding up the phone right here with the family.
Right, just right here at your side, just like a little picture of me in there, just so I can get a little bit of FaceTime. Because I mean, let's face it, who ended up giving Orion his starter set of cards? Yeah,
This guy.
Yorana.
This guy. There were some good cards in there, by the way. I'm not gonna lie. There were some good cards in there.
Were there? I have no idea. I just grabbed them all. The only thing that I held back was a Clobopus because I was like, "Ooh, look at this one! It's so pretty. It looks like a Manet painting."
That's so funny.
Everybody's like, "Yeah, that's like a 3-cent card." I'm like, "I don't give a crap."
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the fun part about collecting Pokemon, Howard. Like, it's about what you want to collect and what you view as what you want. It's a personal collection for a reason. It's cards that you personally like. So
Yeah.
just because you like Clobopus doesn't mean everyone else will. And who cares about the value? That's what you like. It's valuable to you.
It's intrinsic value, right?
Yes.
It's not blue book value. It's just
Right.
there was a long ago, far away. There was a Saturday Night Live sketch where it was a sentimental pawn shop, and people would bring in they would bring in like all these like rando items and be like giving the sob story of like oh, and my dad and we used to play catch together, and then he gave me this mitt, and then it was like right before he left us, and it was my only memory of my dad, and the guy's like. And it's Phil Hartman who's playing the pawn shop guy, and he's like, oh yeah, that's a really good story. Is he dead now? No, he's still alive with another family. Oh yeah, if he were dead, that would have been bringing the value up on that even more.
Oh my God,
it's one of the greatest. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to find that one for you guys. Shout it out to old Saturday Night Live, Phil Hartman. What a genius. What a genius.
Shout out.
All right, let's get to some baseball here. Let's get to some fantasy baseball here. Let's talk about what's going on now. Obviously, oh look, you just want to jump right into the injury report. You're like a rip the Band-Aid off kind of a guy, right?
Well, yeah, I forgot we had talked before. Okay, my bad. Or jump the gun, Howard. Jump the gun.
No. Listen, I get it, man. I get it. It's like we're creeping up on the All-Star break. Right. Next week we'll do some. Our next show we'll do some waiver wire talk, or maybe we'll give out some first half awards.
Yep.
But we still have some business for this week, and we do have some planning to do for next week. So what we're going to do here, we're going to hit some of the injuries. We're going to hit some of the recent news and notes that you guys need for as far as setting lineups and which players you're streaming in. But then what we're also going to do is we're going to talk to you about players we are officially out on for the second half. We know it right now. It's not about injuries or anything like that. I thought about putting Byron Buxton on my list just to be like, how many more games is this dude actually going to play?
Right.
but it's more than that. It's looking at, at some of the data, looking at the numbers that you're being presented with, and which guys could end up just being second half busts that we just have no interest in. They're not going to turn around their season, or they're just what they're doing right now is unsustainable. So we'll cover all of those here on today's show. Might be a little quicker than usual show here, but what are you going to do? It's the All-Star break, man. Blame MLB. So, James, let's get to it, man. Where do you want to start? You want to start with those injuries? Let's go to those injuries. Let's
Okay.
talk about
Let's do the injuries.
Oh, wait, we'll start off with the glasses half full and talk about guys who are returning from injuries here. Munetaka Murakami, that's huge for power for people.
Yep.
If you invested in Murakami, now, is there any concern here, James, that the time off doesn't he closes out this first half of the season in miserable fashion, and then you just have to wait for him to turn it back up after the All-Star game?
Not really. Not really. I mean, he's not like, we're not looking at Murakami as a guy coming back that's gonna like help our batting average. Before the All-Star break, he struck out 32, or before his injury, he struck out 32% of the time. So this is a ad where he's coming back. He's going to draw walks because people don't want to pitch to him, because if they pitch to him, he's going to hit home runs. So I still think that's just what's going to happen, whether he went on a rehab assignment or not. He is real deal power and on base guy, and I'm not worried about it in really any way, shape, or form.
Okay, perfect. Well, then there you go. Then light it back up for Murakami. We're in.
Yes.
We're in on that. Let me ask you a question here, because I was actually, as we were kind of looking at players and who could drop off, or what was sustainable, what was unsustainable. The other big import from Japan was Kazuma Okamoto.
Yep.
Who just hit his 20th home run recently. Are you, now this dude, I mean, 236 batting average, strikeouts are a problem for Okamoto. Do you see these guys as being kind of, just walking down similar paths? Power's working, strikeouts we're going to have to expect. I mean, Murakami's hitting for an average well above what I thought he was going to hit.
Yeah.
And so I do worry about some pullback on the batting average from him. Okamoto, I wonder, Toronto, is the power going to stay sustainable there, especially with, the strikeout rate and the low average right now?
I think they are kind of on similar trajectories. I mean, to your point, Murakami has greatly outperformed in the batting average department, and I think Kaz Okamoto has greatly underperformed. I mean, this is a guy who never struck out at any level in the MPB. Like, he just, everything was elite bat to ball, and that was the profile coming over. Like, elite bat to ball guy, really good power, but not Murakami power. Murakami had almost a 60 home run season, so we're like, plus power, but plus bat to ball skill. And we're seeing it again, like both Murakami and Okamoto are not plus bat to ball guys. They strike out over 30% of the time, but the power has carried. I don't see a reason to think that the power doesn't continue for Okamoto. He hits a lot of balls in the air, 44% fly ball rate. He's good on fast. He's an elite fastball hitter as well. So like, it's not velocity that has hurt him. So that's good. I think we could actually see the batting average tick up here potentially, especially if we take this break as a way to look into why we're deficient against off speed, because he's a plus fastball hitter per Fangraphs. So I don't think that there's anything suggesting any type of drop off. I mean, he hit a home run on Monday night out of San Francisco, and I think if, while Toronto's not the best ballpark to hit in, I don't see an issue for Akamoto. I think he's a great source of power, just like Murakami, and I think there's a little bit more even to be desired. I think we could see that average creep up to like 250, 260 if we start getting more contact like that, like we were promised, right? Like we were promised more contact for Kaz Akamoto.
We were promised. Whether or not that actually
True.
appears, different story.
True.
Also coming back from injury, we got Mike Trout coming back for the Angels. I mean, he is who he is. We can get all romantic about baseball and talk about how, Mike Trout is like, the modern day Don Mattingly, right? Phenomenal player surrounded by a dog shit team.
Yep.
he's never going to go to the World Series. Never going to go to the World Series, which is a very sad thing. It's a very sad thing, but he's coming back now. The one that intrigues me, though, that you got on the list here is Patrick Sandoval, right? I mean, talk to me. He's making his season debut this week. He's been out for an extended period of time with the elbow issue. Command and control is usually the last thing that comes back. Velocity, we'll see what he looks like, on Thursday. We'll see what his pitch count looks like, innings limit, everything like that. But if Sandoval turns into, just a half decent starter, I mean, you mix him up in there with guys like Peyton Tolley, if Connolly Early turns around, Ranger Suarez, like this is actually turning into a decent rotation, a serviceable rotation for Boston. I'm not going to say it's this phenomenal, group of pitchers, but they got some good arms there, some good young arms.
I'm probably a little more bullish, as much as I don't want to be, about Boston's rotation. I think they're really good. I mean, we've talked multiple weeks in a row about Jake Bennett and how good he's looked, and he continues to look awesome basically every time out. Obviously, the Suarez injury is a little bit murky, as is the Connolly Early elbow. I mean, he's going to get a second opinion. You know what the second opinions what that means, right? That's
I love it, man. Everybody's always like, yeah, he's going for a second opinion. That just means he didn't like what he heard from the
first opinion. Doctor. Yes. You want it to stop at the first opinion. You loved it. We're good. We're coming back. And you don't want him to have to go to another doctor. That's not a good thing. The thing that intrigues me about Sandoval, and I do have velocity here, Howard, in his rehab. His fastball has sat 92.8. His career velocity at the major league level is 93.1. So he is basically in line with what he was pre-UCL injury, which is always a good sign, especially you're on a rehab, you're basically touching that velocity. There's a couple things at play here. Sandoval is previously like a pretty decent pitcher who has always kind of been able to miss bats at a decent clip. I mean, his final season with the Angels, 9 over a strikeout per inning, and that was basically every year other than 23, where he was missing a lot of bats. You mentioned control is the last thing to come back. That was an issue for him previously. So you don't love that to begin with, when a guy with control problems is the guy returning from an elbow injury. But yeah, he's also a rental at this point, and there's been some talks about a couple good starts could mean him being floated in trades. And if he ends up on a good team, now there's more fantasy appeal in leagues that still, you can get wins in and so forth. So I think the first couple starts that Patrick Sandoval make is very crucial to what we see from Patrick Sandoval and his future, because I think he could end up on a playoff contending team if he pitches well, and that could only bolster his fantasy value from there.
I kind of hope Thursday's outing is more mediocre than anything else.
Okay.
Because that only in the sense that it reduces the price. If he lights it up, right? If he looks really good and everybody's like, oh shit, look at that, man. He was hitting 94 on the gun. That's an uptick in velocity.
Right.
We watched how like Ranger Suarez was a disaster to start the season, and then kind of eventually turned it around for Boston. So, you kind of, that's all. I'm kind of hoping that it's something that that it keeps the price down at a reasonable amount, simply because it's going to make it easier to acquire him through waiver wire or whatever, because everybody just immediately, so many people tap out when it comes to, what they're, when it comes to the All-Star break. They're not worried about who they are, the waiver wire that week, because it's only like, what is it going to be, like 3 games? It's going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday for that first week back. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to keep the price reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, right now he is 1% rostered on Yahoo Fantasy. So he is widely available. So he is something, I think that if you're someone who likes to mark them like watch, like how there's a lot of format or platforms where you can watch a player kind of.
Oh, I love
put him on a watch list. Yeah, put him on a watch list. I think he is a watch list candidate because you're right. The first starts are crucial to see how the spike comes, because this is a pitcher with decent enough stuff. We just haven't seen him in a couple of years to know how it's gonna look and how at the major league level. So interested to see the return of Sandoval on Thursday. We'll see if he makes our waiver wire show on that day as well.
He might, Rabbit. He might. All right, let's talk about the injury news here. Now the bad stuff. So that's all on the good stuff. Let's talk about the bad stuff here. And it starts off with Shea Langoliers leaving the game. X-rays were negative, so I'm okay with this, right? Like, I'm not devastated by it. This isn't a thumb injury where I'm worried about like a broken thumb and then he's idle for a while and then you got to wait for the power to come back. This was, I'm out of the game. I'll be okay in a day or two.
Yep. Sure.
So I'm good there. Julio Rodriguez, concussion. Everybody reacts differently to concussions.
Yes.
Everybody reacts differently. So that's just going to be a wait and see kind of a situation. No, you don't try to sell him while he's concussed. Please don't. Don't be that fantasy owner.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Go add Dominic Canzone if you can instead.
Right? Yeah, right. Dom Canzone is somebody we can definitely get a little bit happier about. He's actually hit fairly well recently. Byron Buxton re-aggravates the hip injury. Again, I said,
bad.
I was going to put him on my naughty list here for the second half, because isn't that really what we're doing? We're creating naughty lists here.
You can call it one thing and I'll call it another,
Well. All right. So Buxton dealing with that. Giancarlo Stanton hasn't resumed. Listen, the day that we have to like sit here and deal with Giancarlo Stanton in fantasy, I mean, listen, I look at you. You're like, you look like my dad, who was like looking at my report card when I was growing up. You're just like, you're rubbing your forehead. You're like, Stanton, freaking.
I mean, he is.
Goddamn year, God, Jesus.
$375 million for this. There's never been a response to a calf injury like this. I mean, he literally just ran and immediately had a setback. Brother, you can't play baseball anymore. You can't do anything athletically if we're re-aggravating an injury just running. How are you gonna play? They're holding this. Oh, he's probably gonna be back this year. It's like, probably. I mean, I don't know. He's probably cooked like a Christmas ham, Howard. That's our saying here.
He's cooked like a Christmas ham.
Yeah, that's what we started here. My son now has taken and he runs with it. That's what we like in the Grande household. But yeah, if you have him, I mean, if you need the IL spot, then get rid of this guy. If you can stash him because you don't have a lot of players on the IL, I guess it's okay, but I don't know what you're stashing them for. I don't know when the return is even. No one knows when the return is going to be for Stanton.
No, nobody knows when the return is going to be. And again, I mean, this is a guy who I've been out on for a very long time. Like, I get it. When he's healthy, he can hit well. But, the times are so few and far between that I'm just not gonna. I'm just not gonna. How
Right.
about that?
I'm
I'm
just
just
not
not
gonna.
gonna.
Okay. I respect it.
All right. On the pitching side here, what do you like? Brandon Woodruff on the IL. Are we done with him? Carlos Rodon, he's back on the IL. Done with him. Ranger Suarez, the adductor tightness. That's just a little, isn't that like, in like his left
Groin.
cheek?
Groin. It's like
Is
right by the
that
groin. Yeah, I think the adductor is like a kind of a similar to like the groin injury.
all right?
I don't like any of it. I would. I said this last time, but I would be shocked to see Brandon Woodruff pitch again. I know he like spent time talking to the media about it. He's like, it's the same thing that happened last time. My velocity was down, my stuff stunk. Dude, it's just year over year, it's the same thing. I don't know how long he can deal with this, but Rodon, we'll have to wait and see. Another pitcher with an elbow injury that was like, yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be back soon. Don't love it. We haven't really gotten any confirmation on Ron Suarez and like what the timetable is going to be, but I'd assume with the All-Star break ahead that he gets his final start before the break skipped, and then we try again in the second half. And then Zebby Matthews, the weirdest toe injury of all time, just like while you're pitching. There wasn't like a line drive. There wasn't, he just, I don't know. He must have, he's lying to somebody. He went into that start with a toe laceration because there's no way you're just getting it from your cleat in the middle of a game with like no, you're just landing and you have a toe laceration. I don't know. None of it's good.
Maybe he's got like some weird ingrown toenail thing going on, and that's what just kind of sliced it up.
I hope he gets it. I hope he figures it out, and I hope he.
You know what, man? I think Zebby Matthews actually needs some time off anyway.
Yes, I think he does as well. I think he does as well.
This has not been a real smooth ride for little Zebby.
For a little old Zebby, yeah, he is not.
Little Zebby snack cakes. That's what he's serving up right now.
Yeah, the strikeouts.
Everybody's hitting them.
Like there's a lot to like about him last year, even when you look under the hood. And it's just nowhere near the same luster, kind of like, oh, he'll figure it out. There's a lot of stuff under the hood suggesting he's good. That has not been the case this year. So most worried here about Carlos Rodon. Obviously, if you're a fantasy owner of Carlos Rodon, you'd never like to hear elbow inflammation. Ron Hare is probably the least worrisome because he'll be back probably post All-Star break.
Okay. By the way, dibs on Lil Zebby snack cakes as my fantasy baseball team next year.
Honestly, I like it. Do you need now? I've always wondered this and like thought about this. Do you think that it's because you know how teams work? You draft and then you come up with names. Is it a requirement that you have to have the player on your team?
I feel like there should be.
Like if you're gonna steal, like if somebody else has Zebby Matthews, you cannot have that team name.
No, I can't go with Lil Zebby snack cakes then. No.
Okay. I'm just fantasy. That's like the unwritten rules of fantasy, right? Like it's not.
And you can't steal it. I've seen people do that. I've seen people, I mean.
Well, just like we've seen people throw up and in at somebody when their teammate gets hit, it's just part of the unwritten rules, Howard.
Just part of the unwritten rules. Well, then people have been violating the unwritten rules of fantasy baseball team naming, because I've come up with some great names over the years, and people have stolen them, even without having the players on their roster.
Well, you know what? That's why we should come up with a fantasy police force.
It's the Jeepers. It's the fantasy cops.
We already kind of have it at Fantasy Receipts on Twitter. They're kind of like the fantasy police, right?
They kind of are. They kind of are. All right, so injury news. There it is. It sucks. There's concern for Rodon. We're done with Woodruff. We're hoping that Suarez is going to be okay. No, you're not done with Woodruff. You're going to go.
Oh no, I'm so done.
Oh, okay.
I'm extra done.
Extra done.
I'm extra done.
Well done, sir.
Yeah, dude. He's a well done. What is there like a steak that you can get past well done? I wouldn't know. I would never do such a stupid thing. But is there like whatever that is? That's Brandon Woodruff. Extra well done. Can you get a steak extra well done? That's Brandon.
Charred.
Charred. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Horrifying sight. Let me tell you.
Right. I want my steak done black and black.
Yeah. No.
Horrifying. All right, so let's from the injury news then let's get to those players who we are out on for the second half. Oh, I didn't realize there was such great production value going on here.
I'm trying to improve the product, you know.
I like it. Only 4 hates for me, 5 hates for you. So
5 big hates. Hate.
So why don't we go to you then to start us off here, and you give us your first one that you don't like.
Yeah. So this is nothing personal. I'm sure many of these players are nice and their families are awesome as well. But Cal Raleigh has had an abomination of a season.
Yeah.
And I think that over the All-Star break, you do anything in your power to move on from Cal Raleigh. Whether that is trading, whether that's making the tough decision to cut him if you can't get a trade. If there's someone like Samuel Basayo who's still available in over half Yahoo Fantasy Leagues, if there's someone like Kyle Teal that's available in over 60% of Yahoo Fantasy Leagues, it is time to move on from this player. There is nothing on the other side that you can look at with Cal Raleigh and say he's even going to be a third of the player that he was last year. Currently, Cal Raleigh, going into Tuesday night's action, has 9 home runs on the season, Howard. He has 9 home runs. 9 home runs, which is 51 less than he had last year. If by the math,
come on. Well, I mean, listen, nobody was expecting Cal Raleigh to come out and pop 60 home runs.
No, that's correct.
We did, however, think that he was going to hit 40.
Yes. And I think it's in question. I mean, he has to have a 20 home run second half, depending on what happens this final week, to get to 30. And even if there was, like, you could live with a sub 200 batting average from Cal Raleigh if he flirts with 30 home runs, because that means he's having a monster second half. But there's nothing indicating that is going to happen. He is striking out much more than he did a year ago. He is has the 6th highest strikeout rate in all of baseball, 32%. He is chasing more. He is not hitting anything hard. He doesn't square anything up. He doesn't hit. There's no exit velocity attached to anything he hits. There's really nothing that you look at and you're like, wow, there's some things that you can look at and say we're going to turn it around. He doesn't play in a good ballpark to hit in for his home games. And I am just over dealing. You can deal with a bad batting average at positions if there's specific production elsewhere. There hasn't been. There's nothing that you can look at right now for Cal Raleigh and be like, well, he has 20 home runs at the break. He has 15 home runs at the break. He has 18 home runs at the break. I can deal with. That's not even a part of the equation. I know there was a little bit of a IL stint mixed in, but it just hasn't been good enough. I'm moving on from Cal Raleigh anywhere I possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm totally fine with that. I mean, the strikeout rate is back up, right? I mean, he's swinging for power now, and he's probably messed up his swing. Like he could come back in the second half and get off to like a nice hot start, maybe. But overall, I think that an inherent problem here, and it goes beyond just bad luck. It's just
Yes.
it's like that. By the way, a little bit of breaking news. It just kind of popped up as we were recording here. Connor Griffin.
Yeah, Connor Griffin.
Back on the IL with a torn tendon in his finger. Could miss about a month, they're saying now.
Brutal. It's brutal.
Which was significantly disappointing because earlier this morning I wrote an article with my stolen base props, and now everybody on Twitter is letting me know that, he tore a tendon.
He's not going to steal a base today.
He will not be stealing a base today, and that is incredibly disappointing. Incredibly disappointing.
What a crap play, Howard. Can you see an injury coming?
Right? Such an idiot, man. You're so stupid. You're so stupid.
Yeah, it's a tough one. That's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
Because they had been leading him off every day.
I know. The dude had like 6 stolen bases since he came back from the IL also. It's been crazy good. So yeah, that's now sad. Sad. Almost as sad as people who invest in Brandon Marsh for next second half. This is not happening here, right? I mean,
no.
You look at right now he's batting .319 with 15 home runs, like well on pace to crush career norms here. Massively inflated batting average on balls in play. But more importantly, look at his chase rate right now. This dude is swinging at everything outside the zone. And you can look and you can see because his soft contact numbers have jumped up significantly. And that's just simply because he's putting bat to ball on all sorts of crap pitches that are outside the zone. So when I look at that, I'm like, all right, this is a guy who he's had a great first half of the season here, but he is going to it's going to taper off. He's going to get into like a little bit of a slump. Then he's going to start chasing more. Then he's going to start, try to swing for the fences. And the next thing you know, he's as bad as Cal Raleigh.
You don't want to be bad as Cal Raleigh.
No. So I'm out on Brandon Marsh. I mean, I just, you look at that batted ball data and the swinging strikes, the whiffs that he's generating is just not good. It's not good. And, listen, you could say that he was a late bloomer, right? Because he's 28 years old right now.
Yep.
But, I just don't see it being as like a late bloomer. I think it was a good first half for him, but I don't like his plate discipline. That's really what it comes down to.
John and Peppa and I have talked about this previously, Howard, how he is literally one of the luckiest players in baseball history. If you go to like all players with BABIPs like Brandon Marsh, he is literally amongst the top 5 luckiest hitters of all time. He is a 372 BABIP for his career. He has lived on luck, and this is the first year it's like really paid off for him. I agree. I mean, I am a slave to the data. I will let the data do the talking for me. I understand that there are players that have lucky seasons, and there are players that are more fortunate than others at times. But I agree. Everything is it's weird. Like the strikeouts are up from a year ago, the walks are down, and yet he's just having an infinitely better season, and that typically isn't something that will sustain over a long period of time. So I am definitely a sell high on Brandon Marsh, and get it off your hands as as quick as possible because I just don't know how this is sustainable over the course of an entire season. It's not. It's not. Unless he just continues to be the luckiest player of all time.
Which I don't think he's going.
Yeah, I mean, with how many players there are in baseball history, you would bank on it not continuing. So I agree. I think you get rid of him now. You're not just dropping Brandon Marsh. That's obviously not what Howard's saying.
No.
Trade
Sell. Like that. Like that's an immediate, right? I mean, if you're going to try and trade Cal Raleigh away to somebody who might have some hope, then definitely package him up with Brandon Marsh and be like, hey, I'll just give you this phenomenal outfielder.
Right. Yeah, 14th. I just looked it up. 14th in Yahoo scoring in fantasy point leagues. He's 14th overall. He is just behind Juan Soto, and he's ahead of Julio Rodriguez, who's actually played one more game than Brandon Marsh. And yet, Brandon Marsh, more fantasy points than Julio Rodriguez. Sell.
Sell.
I have tried to relay this message as much as possible on these airwaves, Howard. 2026 Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is not happening. And I'm sorry to everyone. It's not. It's not happening.
Wait a minute. Where's the tier maker?
It's just not happening. I mean, the numbers, they almost like continue to get worse. He's up to a 50% ground ball rate this year. 44% is league average. He's 1.1% higher than his career average, so even higher than his career average. 18.5% fly ball rate. The league average is 24. He's going down on his fly ball rate. It's just not getting any better. And Howard, I think of you every time I hear a back problem. I just think of your quote that you gave earlier in the year now, like
which is actually a quote from Andrew Cooper.
It's an Andrew Cooper quote. Okay, well, I think it's Andrew Cooper, Michael Scott, Howard Bender. No one's ever no one's ever had a good back injury. Did you just
equate me to Michael Scott?
No, you know how he does the Michael Jordan, Michael Scott thing?
Yes,
or whatever?
Yes.
So that's you and Howard, or you and Michael Scott and Coop. No one's ever had a good back injury. There's never been a good back injury. And now Vladdy, I know he's been dealing with it, but now he's not playing in the All-Star game because of the back injury. How can you hit for power if you can't, if you have a back injury and everything's on the ground? There's just not enough production here. There's nothing substantial statistically that tells me, other than you just thinking, oh, well, this player once upon a time hit 30 home runs. He also didn't hit 30 home runs last year. He hit 23. So if Vladdy has a good second half and he gets you back to the 20 home run guy, that's still not enough to where he was drafted. He has a 693 OPS. He's just a sell while you can. And I'm even willing to sell like short of the value that I drafted him at, because at this point I just don't need the production on my team. I can go find it somewhere else.
Okay. Listen, I'm at the point now. I mean, listen, I've spoken to you. I've spoken to Impemba. I've spoken to Jim Bowden about it. I've spoken to Craig Mish about it. Like, I mean, these are some of my trusted baseball sources. If you're telling me to get out, then I'm gonna happily get out, and that's what happens. Trade him on name. Trade him on name to somebody who believes.
There was a trade, Howard. I want to go find it. There was a trade in a league that I'm in currently, involving Vladimir Guerrero. And I was talking to the owner, and the reason that they did this trade was literally because of name. And I was like, there's no substantial backing that you could sit here and tell me that is like a reason why. This person traded Bobby Witt and James Wood in a singular deal to acquire
Bobby Witt and James Wood in a single deal
to acquire Vladdy and Gunnar who, two players that I'm low on, and Baldwin and DeGrom. So it was a 2 for 4, but trading two of the best fantasy players, James Wood, who's #1 in fantasy scoring everywhere, full stop, #1. He has like 80 runs. It's not even the All-Star break yet. And Bobby Witt for Vladdy, and the part of the reason was Vladdy was just because the name. There's no substantial data that tells you that Vladdy is going to turn around other than him just having the name Vladimir Guerrero Jr. It's a name value trade.
Set, match.
Yep.
What a ridiculous trade.
Yes. Ridiculous.
Horrible.
Ridiculous. James Wood and Bobby Witt. What are we doing?
All right, I'm going to do something that you really probably shouldn't do, and I'm just going to pivot off of an athletics hitter.
Okay.
I just don't believe in Zach Geloff.
That's fair.
I really don't. I mean, I don't dislike the player, but he's got a serious strikeout issue. And I just, maybe it's the injuries and stuff like that have really hampered him, right? Because like his rookie year, we were all in, right? I mean,
Yes.
His rookie year, this dude hit 14 home runs. He stole 14 bags, hit like 260, 270 in that range, right? He had strikeout issues. But then the next 2 seasons that he had, I mean, again, injury plagued, problematic. Strikeouts were insane, absolutely insane. You're talking about like on average of like a 34, 35% strikeout rate between the 2 seasons. And now all of a sudden you got him this year. He's not striking out as much. He hasn't played as many games because of injuries. Another thing that just kind of lingers on him. The dude doesn't draw walks. He's got a strong batting average on balls in play. But you just look at like some of his like expected metrics, right? Everybody's into like, expected WOBA, and for pitchers it's expected ERA. You look at his expected WOBA numbers, and they're bad.
Really bad.
Like 302 for expected WOBA for the duration of the season is bad. And I think that's just, again, strikeouts are going to start to pile up a little bit more. You're going to see a string of like offers for him. And I just, I just don't see what he's doing right now as sustainable. I don't think this is a renaissance to when he was 23 years old. And it's a tough call too, because he's in his physical prime, right? He's only 26 years old, and he's got a bandbox to call his home park. But it's also, the entire lineup is kind of struggling around him. Soderstrom's hurt. Rooker's out for the season now. Where are they going to go? Like what, really, where are the Athletics going to end up going? And I think that I would rather just get out on Geloff right now while I can.
This is a tricky one for me, because everything you're saying is correct. It's like, even the other expected numbers you look at, he's hitting 280. His expected batting average is 235, and that's something that you kind of alluded to with the batting average and balls in play. Like, he's getting very lucky. His slug 495. His expected slug is 102 points lower than that at 393. So it's everything that he's overperforming, but he's also at a really bad position because third is putrid, and he's a plus speed guy at a bad position too. So like, you're not going to get a lot of stolen bases from many players at third, especially while Jose Ramirez is out. So he is pocketing a pretty good amount of steals and has a 25 steal season on his resume already. It's a tough one. I do think the strikeout rate is going to tick back up. I do think that the batting average is going to fall, and the same with the slug. But I would say there's like only 2 things you can do. You use his long hitting streak and now boosted stats as a trade piece, or you just keep riding the hot hand until the wheels fall off and then move on to another third baseman. I lean with you on like sell high while you can and utilize the ballpark as like as a factor, but I get why somebody would also just like stay put because third is bad. Like what are you trading Zach Geloff for that improves third, I guess, would be the question. Like, I guess if you can add Caleb Durbin off the waiver wire and you have a trade for another position, that's like a thing you could do. But how many third basemen, I guess, are better than him currently?
How many third basemen are better than Zach Geloff currently? Okay.
He's 18th in fantasy points, but obviously he's only played 64 games this year. He's
Right.
18th in scoring.
Okay. I would say that I would rather have Kevin McGonigal.
Yes.
I would rather have Miguel Vargas.
Yes. Caminero.
Caminero, you sure? I mean, he's all right.
Yeah, 11 home runs in 13 games isn't bad. I'd probably rather pick Caminero.
It's kind of funny. I would almost say I'll say Colson Montgomery over him. Batting average sucks, but the power I think for Montgomery is much more legit than that from Geloff.
Bregman or Geloff?
Oh well, then yeah, that I got to go with Geloff.
Bregman is 9th in fantasy scoring at third.
How is he 9th? Because listen, all right, I'm looking at third base stats right now. These are just the home run kings, right? Vargas, Muncy, Caminero, Montgomery, Okamoto, Isak Paredes, Sal Stewart,
Machado
Lee.
Machado has 18, I think.
Machado's got 18. So, I mean, where are those those fantasy points are what? They're coming from what? ESPN, Yahoo?
That's Yahoo fantasy scoring, yeah.
So it's Yahoo. So it's whatever the default Yahoo fantasy scoring is.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's also like Montgomery is qualifying on this list at shortstop specifically. Same with McGonigal. So those two players on this list are qualifying at shortstop. I know
Shouldn't Geloff qualify at second too?
They have Geloff slotted in at third.
At third. Okay.
I played third.
I mean, listen, I wouldn't take, Matt Chapman over him. I don't know if I would take, I mean, I definitely wouldn't take Austin Riley or Alec Boehm over him.
No.
Right. So, I mean, there's still some decent guys there and guys who are kind of on the fringe. I think I would rather have Josh Young.
Yes, I would too.
I think Josh Young is definitely somebody that's, worth a look. I'll take Bo Bichette over him.
Yes, I would also take Bo Bichette over him. I'm high on Bo Bichette the rest of the year.
Where are you at with Nolan Arenado?
Resurgence. I think Geloff is. I would rather have Geloff than Arenado. I think probably
because Arenado's 72.
72 and the steals probably are the difference maker there for me.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
So I largely agree. I largely agree with your take. On Nico Horner, I'm out. I think that there's been value on Nico Horner the last few years because he has hit for a high batting average. He's hit every year since 21. He's hit over 270. 4 of those 5 years, he's hit over 280. In the last 3 seasons, he's scored at least 85 runs. 2 of the 3, he's driven in 60 or more, and he's had 29 steals in 3 straight. He is hitting 241. He has had no luck on his side. There's no power, as we know. So, because he's not on base, he's a 315 OBP guy compared to 330 or higher in 3 straight years. He just can't run as much anymore. So we're getting a guy that we wanted runs and average and steals out of, and we're getting none of it because he's not on base enough to do any of those things. So I'm moving on. I can find plenty of options at second base. I could go out and 60% of fantasy leagues, there's a guy who literally leads Major League Baseball in stolen bases available to me if I'm looking for that type of production. So in Nasim Nunez. So I am I have no interest at this point in rostering someone who is not hitting at the top of a lineup. He is not scoring runs. He's not hitting for batting average. Um, I just sold Nasim Nunez short. He's available in almost 70% of Yahoo fantasy leagues. I said 60. It's 7.
Nasim Nunez is available in how many percentage of leagues?
67 or
That's ridiculous. The
63% of
dude leads the league in stolen bases.
right. So like why if I'm holding on to Nico Horner at this point, why would I ever not just view Nasim Nunez 3 times the player as Nico Horner at this point at second base? So I am completely out on this player. Drop him, trade him. If you could trade him, great. But yeah, no interest rest of season in Nico Horner at all. He's so want to hear the contrast here, Howard? What would you guess currently Nico Horner is rostered in Yahoo percentage wise?
Well, percentage wise, he's probably
Yep.
rostered in at least 85% of leagues.
90.
90, yeah.
90% rostered. Nasim Nunez, league leader, and same positional eligibility, by the way, is 27%.
What if I told you for his career, he has traditionally been a better second half player than a first half player?
It happens. I mean, we've long touted Julio Rodriguez as one of those players. Corbin Carroll has been one of those players the last couple of years. So, I mean, there are players that have turned up later in the seasons. Is it enough to like hold on to a 240 no power, no OBP guy though?
I don't think that there's a significant differential here. 286 hitter in the second half, 271 in the first half, 345 OBP in the second half, 331 in the first half, 738 OPS in the second half, 700 in the first half. The isolated power marks aren't really that tasty anyway, which we're fine with. And then BABIP 312 in the second half, 293 in the first half. So, I mean, it shows an uptick. I don't know if it shows enough of an uptick to be like, yeah, this is my guy.
I mean, there's obviously a little bit of stuff here under the hood that suggests he's been unlucky, especially in the batting average department. But he doesn't barrel anything, and all the offensive numbers have trended way down. And I don't know how long we can wait on a second baseman that has been. He's an 85 WRC plus player. League average is 100. I mean, he's just been bad. He's just flat out been bad. I would rather just move on to someone who is giving me actual statistics on a daily basis.
I gotcha. All right. My next guy here, Freddy Peralta. I mean, I'm assuming that the Mets are going to trade him.
Have to.
Right?
Yeah.
But is that going to put him into a better spot? Because for all intents and purposes, he's a 2-pitch pitcher.
Yep.
And he doesn't really have much else. Like he tries to throw a cutter, tries to throw a slider. Neither one of those pitches are even remotely effective. He doesn't have any kind of command over either of them. So he's a fastball changeup pitcher, which, again, if they want to just sit on your fastball or they just want to sit on your changeup, it's easily done for them. I just, I look at Freddy Peralta and I say that, he's in dire need of another pitch or improved command there. I don't think he's in a good spot right now. I mean, even if the ballpark is favorable, because it's a much more favorable ballpark in New York and Flushing than it was even in Milwaukee. But he just doesn't have, the command at all. And I think it's kind of problematic. You can only get by so far on just a fastball changeup kind of a situation. Because, I mean, again, like they can wait on that pitch, like you're basically, you're looking at fastball coming in, right, at 94 miles an hour, changeup, which has basically the same delivery, same
Yeah.
release point, everything like that, coming in at like 87. That's what guys who traditionally get by on their fastball changeup, but they have a good out pitch, right? You've got a good slider that's going to break away. They're going to be waiting on your fastball or your changeup, and then you throw them a sinker, right? Something like that happens. Freddy Peralta doesn't have that. And I just don't see him developing that here in the second half. And I think they're going to hit him just as hard.
It's a great point, Howard. I'm just looking at some like velocity data stuff. So Freddy Peralta's fastball and changeup are less than 7 mile per hour difference. The league average is 9. His fastball and changeup basically are the same pitch. If you're talking about 7 mile per hour, that's not a big enough gap between fastball and changeup to like make a difference. I mean, the main thing this year, the strikeouts, he has always missed bats. And now he's out of the Milwaukee pitching program and he's striking out less than a batter per inning. I mean, if he's not striking people out, he's just not a good fantasy player. I couldn't agree more. I'm out as well unless he gets out of Dodge here with the Mets. But even then, we'll see. Strikeout problem on my guy as well, just from the other side of the plate. Eugenio Suarez just doesn't. He looks terrible. I mean, he looks horrible. Every metric looks horrible. There is not one singular metric that the 34-year-old Suarez has to point to and says, I'm going to turn it around, other than he plays in a small ballpark. But it hasn't mattered. He previously played in that small ballpark, and previously he was good. He is not good this year. He has a 640 OPS. He has a 200 average. He's not hitting home runs. He's terrible defensively. And there's just no reason for the Reds to keep playing him every day if he's going to continue to be terrible. So I have no confidence in Eugenio Suarez at this point. If you are still rostering him, don't. And part ways as soon as humanly possible. There's plenty of power available on the waiver wire for you. I promise there's plenty of power. I'll have plenty of them in the next waiver wire column. In our next segment on Thursday, we'll have plenty of power hitters that are currently double the amount of home runs Eugenio Suarez has.
I've never been a big fan of his.
Yeah.
I really haven't, and it's just, I get it. Everybody likes the big power guy, but yeah, I've never been, I just think that it wears off on you after a while. Drains your batting average, frustrates you beyond belief. When he gets into a slump, he's terrible for head-to-head leagues.
Yes.
Horrendous for head-to-head leagues.
I mean, he had 5 years in between his 49 home run seasons. So it's not like it's every year he's putting up 40 bombs.
Right.
So, like, if there was a year over year, like 40, 38, 40, 45, 20, and then there was like one random 28, be like, all right, we can. No, I mean, he had a couple 30s in there, but 49 twice seems more of the anomaly than everything else, than the high, like the low 30s it's mostly been. So I'm out. 33% striker rate too. I mean, there's just nothing good going on here for Eugenio Suarez.
No, there is not. My last guy here, I'm going to drop in here because I don't think we need to just sit here and bash Eugenio Suarez.
He's a nice guy. Seems like a really nice person.
Right. Seems genuine. His mom's a great lady. Love her. Justin Robleski from the Dodgers. I mean, first of all, dude doesn't get you the strikeouts that you want, right? The underlying metrics don't indicate that, like, what he's doing right now is even sustainable.
No.
And then you have to take into consideration this. How many secondary, tertiary Dodgers pitchers do you want to invest in, knowing what this team does getting ready for the playoffs? You're going to see, you've got more 6-man rotation. You've got more innings caps. You got more pitch limits because the Dodgers are just all about, you're going to get guys who are coming back right, off of the IL.
Yep.
And where are you going to go with those guys? I mean, you're not going to sit there and tell me that, Robleski's going to get enhanced opportunities when the Dodgers need to get everybody healthy and ready to go for the for the playoffs. And I'm talking about Blake Snell coming back, and I'm talking about Tyler Glasnow coming back. Even Landon Knack.
Maybe.
I know, right? It's maybe on all of them, but
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at these guys, and then even if these guys don't come back, then you're going to deal with a team that's going to be even more cautious than before.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm out on Robleski. I don't think that what he's doing is sustainable, and I think that he could get his workload managed, which is never fun.
I agree. He was in one of my Baseball Savant sell posts like months ago. I didn't buy it at all. I still don't buy it. The only thing he has going for him, he has a plus fastball. It's one of the highest graded pitches in all of baseball. But you can't, unless you're throwing 104 miles an hour, you can't sustain that as like the one thing you have going for you. He misses no bats. I mean, he has no strikeout stuff. 6-man rotation might become like a 7-man, or I don't even know what they're going to do because they have 20. River Ryan eventually. I know there was another setback in the minors, but he could eventually be up to. It's a nightmare situation for any Dodger pitcher that isn't a big name. So I completely agree. Not in on Justin Robleski at all moving forward. Haven't been a Justin Robleski fan. Unfortunately, I do have him in the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS playbook for Tuesday, but that's a whole nother story, Howard. He's facing the Rockies today, so it is what it is.
That is definitely a different story. He's facing the Rockies today in Los Angeles.
Yes.
So
yes. Different story.
Get some.
Get some. Similar story for me for Bubba Chandler. Let's just get off the hype train for now, right? I'll never forget that interview a couple of years ago, and there's plenty of time for Bubba Chandler to become a good pitcher. But like, he did that interview 2 years ago where he said, or he told Paul Skeens to move over. I'll be starting opening day next year. And Bubba Chandler's closer to being out of the rotation than he is to starting opening day. They have Carmen McGinsky still in that rotation or in that bullpen waiting to either be traded or re-enter the top 5. And Chandler just can't throw enough strikes. And all those strikeouts that he accrued in the minor leagues are nowhere to be found at the major league level on a consistent basis. He can't get lefties out. He doesn't get enough ground balls. People find out 98 isn't good enough anymore. Just 98, unless you have multiple variations of it, i.e. Cam Schlittler, right? It's like, if you have the four seam, the sinker, the cutter, well, then 98, you can make that work. But Cam Schlittler also has impeccable control. Bubba Chandler walks over 5 batters per 9 innings. I just don't need this on my fantasy roster. And if you're holding on to him, it's a name thing. You're buying into what his prospect ranking told you, not what your eyes and the numbers are telling you, because there's nothing really good on the Bubba Chandler front right now.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's always the kiss of death, right? When people start trading and adding just based off name recognition, just ain't gonna cut it. This is not the time for that. No. And it's tough too, because people who play fantasy for a long period of time, you're used to seeing certain guys who just automatically do it.
Yep.
Automatically do it. And you always have that hard time of like trying to figure out when they're not, like at what point, is this all gonna fall apart? Not every guy just immediately falls off the wagon like Austin Riley did. Right? There are guys who are just you have to notice the steady decline. And it's not like Bubba Chandler is an old timer player, but this is a guy who obviously needs to work on a lot of different aspects of his game.
Yes, very, very much so. And you know, pedigree is always going to be a big driving force in fantasy. But as you said, you need to be able to separate pedigree and what, realize what the actual production is on the field. Howard, breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Wilson Contreras is an all-star. Your thoughts?
Is he being suspended at all? Is he not being suspended at all?
I don't know. I saw Cavalli had his suspension reduced, and there's been no word on anybody else at this point. But Wilson Contreras, who some people may have touted since day one, is now an all-star. Thank you. I'll take this. I'll take this pat on my back.
Why don't you just become a Red Sox fan?
No, that's a terrible time. Why would you ever do that? That's
I don't know.
There's a lot of dumb things you can do, but that's at the top of the list,
All right, so there you go. Those are 9 players that James and I are out on for the second half. Again, we'll be back on Thursday here. Probably do some first half awards going out. We'll throw you a couple of waiver wire guys to take a look at. But remember, the week after the All-Star break is all about it's only about a 3-game slate for the week. So there's another waiver period that we're going to look at. So maybe we'll just focus on the good stuff here, or at least the awards. We might give some awards out for some bad play. Who knows?
Ooh.
Who knows?
Ooh, I like that.
What I do know is that's going to do it for me and James here on Caught Stealing. We thank everybody for joining. Again, that QR code right above James Grande's head. Well, that right there, that is fantasyalarm.com/YouTube. Promo code YT50 will knock 50% off your first month. That gets you everything. Betting, season-long, DFS, draft guides, cheat sheets, you name it. The whole kit and caboodle for 50% off your first month. And then tail the best bets. That'll just pay for the subscription itself.
Definitely tail the best bets.
Do DFS MLB with James when that picks back up. It's an easy win right there. Yep. But that is going to do it for us here today. We appreciate you guys joining us for Caught Stealing. For James Grande, I'm Howard Bender, and we'll catch you next time.